The new day begins at the Heartland ranch, but it doesn't carry the peace it used to. Amy walks through the stables, her hands brushing against the horses she's always understood better than words. Yet today, their calm eyes don't ease her heart. She feels something distant, like a storm forming just beyond the hills. In her silence, her mind races back to the moment that changed everything. A choice she made that now feels heavier with every passing hour. The horses neigh softly, as if they can feel the pull of her thoughts. Jack watches from the porch, his weathered face still and thoughtful. He knows the ranch better than anyone, and he can tell when its rhythm is off. He's seen storms before, some made of wind, some made of pain, and this time he knows it's not the sky he needs to worry about. He takes off his hat and looks out across the fields where the morning sun hits the fences in gold. It's beautiful, but it's also fragile. He's learned that beauty often hides the deepest cracks. Inside the house, Lou tries to keep everything in balance. The phone rings, the coffee pot steams, and papers are scattered across the kitchen table. But no matter how much she tries to organize the chaos, something keeps her from focusing. There's a decision waiting for her, one that could change her path and the people she loves most. She wants to talk about it, but she knows that some truths only bring pain. For now, she keeps her silence, pretending the noise of the day is enough to drown out the questions inside her. Outside, the camera of life keeps rolling. Ty's old truck still sits near the barn, a quiet reminder of everything Amy has lost and everything she's trying to protect. She glances at it, and for a second, it feels like time slows down. The past and the present blur together, and her heart aches for the moments she can't bring back. But even in that ache, there's strength. The same strength that's carried her through every fall. Every goodbye, every new beginning. The wind picks up, carrying the sound of the ranch, the creak of wood, the rustle of leaves, the distant whinny of a horse. It feels like the world is holding its breath, waiting for something to break the silence. Amy takes a deep breath and looks toward the horizon, where the clouds are slowly gathering. She doesn't know what's coming, but she can feel it in her bones. Change. Heartland has always been a place of healing, but this time, it might be the one that needs saving. And as the first notes of a soft, haunting melody begin to rise in the background, we know the story is only just beginning. The afternoon sun hangs low over Heartland, painting the fields in a shade of gold that feels almost too calm to trust. There's a stillness in the air, the kind that comes before something big happens. The horses graze quietly in the distance, unaware of the weight that's pressing on the people who love this land. Amy walks slowly through the pasture, her boots brushing against the tall grass. Each step feels like a memory, soft, heavy, and unshakable. She stops by Spartan's stall and rests her hand against his mane, the warmth of his breath grounding her when nothing else does. He looks at her with eyes that seem to say, "You've been here before. You'll survive this too." Back at the house, Lou sits alone at the kitchen table, papers spread before her like scattered thoughts. The sunlight flickers across her face through the window blinds. She's trying to make a choice that doesn't have a right answer. Stay where her heart belongs or move toward a dream she's afraid to chase. Every sound in the house feels louder. The ticking clock, the creak of the floorboards, the faint laughter of Katie outside. It all reminds her that life keeps moving, even when you're standing still. She folds her hands and whispers to herself, as if saying it out loud might make it real. Maybe it's time. Jack finds her later, leaning against the doorframe with that quiet strength that has held this family together for years. He doesn't ask questions. He doesn't have to. He's lived long enough to know that silence often says more than words ever could. His voice is low when he finally speaks, like the rumble of distant thunder. He tells her that every dream comes with a cost. But sometimes the hardest thing isn't chasing it. It's leaving behind the place that taught you how to dream in the first place. Lou nods, her eyes glistening. For a moment, the weight lifts, and she feels seen, understood. That's the thing about Heartland. It doesn't just raise horses, it raises hearts. Meanwhile, Georgie returns to the ranch, her motorcycle engine echoing through the valley. She's been gone for a while, chasing her own path. And though she smiles when she sees the old barn, there's something guarded in her eyes. Growth and distance have a strange way of changing people. She steps off the bike, dust on her boots, determination in her stride. Amy spots her from across the yard, and for a moment, everything stops. The two stand still, like the space between them holds 1,000 unspoken words. Then, with a small, hesitant smile, Amy moves closer. Some bonds don't need fixing. They just need time to breathe again. As evening falls, the sky begins to shift into a soft blend of pink and gray. The day has been long, and the air feels heavy with the things left unsaid. The family gathers at the dinner table, the familiar rhythm of plates and laughter filling the room. But underneath it all, There's a tremor, a sense that something is about to change. Jack looks around at the faces he spent his life protecting and realizes how much time has passed. The kids who once ran through the fields are now carrying their own stories, their own burdens. He takes a slow breath and raises his glass, saying softly, "To family." No matter what comes next, the room quiets. Amy's eyes meet his, and for the first time in a while, she smiles without forcing it. There's peace in that moment, fragile but real. The kind of peace that only exists when you know it might not last. Outside, the wind begins to rise, stirring the trees and sending whispers through the ranch. A storm is forming on the horizon. Dark clouds rolling in over the hills, the first low rumble of thunder breaking the calm. The horses grow restless, their movements uneasy. Amy steps outside, watching the sky darken. Her reflection flickers in the window beside her. Two worlds overlapping. The woman she's become and the girl who once thought she could fix everything. She closes her eyes, breathes deep, and whispers to the night, "Whatever's coming, we'll face it, together." The camera would linger on that moment, the glow of lightning in the distance, the echo of her words fading into the wind. Heartland stands still, waiting for what tomorrow will bring. Night settles over Heartland, quiet but uneasy. The storm that rolled in from the west has left the ground slick with rain and the air charged with something no one can name. The ranch lights glow faintly through the mist, soft yellow against the dark. Inside, the house feels smaller than usual, the walls holding on to whispers no one dares to speak. Amy sits by the window, watching drops slide down the glass like tears she refuses to cry. Her reflection looks back at her, tired, strong, and still searching. She's spent years helping others heal, but tonight she realizes some wounds don't show on the surface. They live quietly, waiting for the right moment to be felt again. The sound of tires crunching on wet gravel breaks the silence. A pair of headlights cuts through the fog, moving closer until they stop near the barn. Amy frowns. It's late, too late for visitors. She grabs her jacket and steps outside, the rain tapping softly on her shoulders. The air feels heavy, filled with the smell of wet earth and secrets. From the truck steps a familiar figure, one she hasn't seen in years, a name that brings both comfort and pain. The way he stands, the hesitation in his eyes tells her this isn't a friendly visit. He's carrying something, not just in his hands, but in his heart. The kind of news that changes everything. Inside, Lou and Jack exchange a worried glance as the door opens. The man steps in, his voice rough from the road and regret. He doesn't waste time with greetings. He talks about something that's been uncovered. Papers, an old land deal, something that could threaten the ranch's future. The words come slow, heavy, each one landing like a hammer. Amy's heartbeat echoes in her ears. The idea of losing Heartland isn't just losing a place. It's losing history, roots, memories that built them. Jack's jaw tightens, but his voice stays calm. He's weathered worse, but even he knows this storm isn't just about land. It's about legacy, trust, and the ghosts of choices made long ago. As the man continues, his tone softens. He glances at Amy, and for a moment his mask slips. There's more to this visit than business. Something personal lingers behind his words. An apology he's too proud to say out loud. Amy senses it but says nothing. Her silence is her strength. It always has been. She just nods slowly, understanding more than he'll ever admit. Lou listens, her mind already racing through plans and possibilities, trying to fix what might already be broken. The ranch has survived wildfires, storms, and heartbreak, but this is different. This is a test of faith. Later that night, Amy walks to the barn. The storm has quieted, but puddles reflect the moonlight like shards of silver. Spartan stirs softly when she approaches, his breath forming clouds in the cool air. She leans against his stall, her thoughts tangled. What if they can't save Heartland? What if this is the beginning of the end? She whispers into the stillness, not really asking for answers, but needing to hear her own voice. Maybe, she says softly. Some endings are just new beginnings we don't see yet. The horse snorts, and it almost feels like he agrees. Back at the house, Jack sits alone in his chair, staring at an old photograph of Marion. He runs his thumb across the frame, his eyes distant. He's held this family together for decades, through loss and change. But even steel bends with time. He thinks about what it means to protect something. Not just land, but the people who give it meaning. He knows tomorrow will bring hard choices, and maybe harder truths. He mutters under his breath. Whatever happens, we stand. It's not just a promise. It's a way of life. Outside, thunder rolls one last time, soft but certain. The storm moves on, leaving behind a silence that feels like the deep breath before something bigger. The camera would linger on Amy, standing in the barn doorway, her face half in shadow, half in moonlight. She doesn't look afraid anymore. Just ready. The past has come back, and whatever tomorrow brings, she won't run from it. Heartland has weathered too many storms to stop now. Morning rises slowly over Heartland, the kind of dawn that feels both gentle and uncertain. The storm has passed, but its memory lingers in the damp air, in the smell of rain-soaked wood, in the way the clouds hesitate before letting the sunlight through. The ranch looks peaceful again, but peace at Heartland often hides a story waiting to unfold. Amy stands near the corral, the cool wind brushing her hair, watching the horses move freely through the open space. For a moment, she lets herself breathe, lets her heart settle into the rhythm of the land she's always trusted. But deep inside, she knows this calm is temporary. Something's shifting. In her, in the family, in the ground beneath them. Lou joins her, holding 2 cups of coffee. The steam rises between them like a quiet truce. They don't speak right away. They just stand side by side, eyes on the horizon. Lou finally breaks the silence. She talks about the letter they received late last night. A letter confirming that what the stranger said was true. The land deal is real, and Heartland's boundaries might change. Amy doesn't react at first. She's learned that fear wastes energy better spent on hope. She tells Lou they'll fight for it together. Her voice is steady, but there's a flicker of doubt in her eyes. Lou sees it, but she doesn't call it out. Instead, she squeezes Amy's hand, a small gesture that says you're not alone in this. Across the yard, Jack and Tim argue quietly near the truck. Years of history weigh on every word between them. Pride, regret, stubborn love. Jack wants to handle things the old way, with loyalty and hard work. Tim wants to fight back fast, to protect what's theirs no matter the cost. Their voices rise, 2 different kinds of strength clashing in the cold air. But when Jack's voice breaks for a moment, the fight fades. Tim looks at him and remembers. They're not enemies, just 2 men who've carried too much for too long. Without another word, they nod, understanding that sometimes love looks like letting go of being right. Inside the barn, Georgie saddles her horse. She's been quiet since last night, her mind racing with thoughts of leaving again. The world outside Heartland still calls to her. Freedom, adventure, a chance to be someone beyond the ranch. But as she brushes the horse's mane, she feels something settle in her chest. This place, these people, they're not just part of her past. They're the reason she can move forward at all. She looks up as Amy walks in, and for the first time in a long while, they talk. Not as sisters trying to fix things, but as 2 women trying to understand each other. Amy tells her that running away doesn't always mean leaving. Sometimes it means chasing what you love before it's gone. Georgie smiles faintly, and for the first time, her eyes hold peace instead of confusion. Later that day, the whole family gathers near the paddock. The air feels thick with memory, laughter, arguments, birthdays, goodbyes. The kind of moments that make a place feel alive. Jack looks around at the faces he's helped raise, and a rare smile softens his expression. He says something simple, something that only Heartland could make sound like poetry. This ranch doesn't belong to the land. It belongs to the people who believe in it. No one answers, but they don't need to. The words hang in the air, wrapping around them like sunlight. The camera would pan slowly across the ranch, Spartan galloping through the open field, Lou hugging Katie tightly, Jack tipping his hat against the wind, Amy standing by the fence, eyes lifted toward the fading sky. A soft instrumental swells, warm and full of promise. The colors grow richer as the sun breaks fully through the clouds, bathing Heartland in light. There's no neat ending, no perfect solution, just resilience, quiet and unshakable. The kind of strength that keeps this family standing, season after season. As the final moments fade, Amy's voice echoes softly, almost like a thought carried on the wind. No matter what comes, Heartland will always find a way. The screen slowly darkens, leaving only the sound of hooves and wind before the title appears. Heartland Season 19, Episode 7. Coming soon. The music lingers for a heartbeat longer, and then, silence. A silence full of hope, heartbreak, and the promise of another story.